2011X is a killer in outcome memories. Well, obviously. He is the free killer of this game. The one that you just play at the beginning, whether you like him or not. But, in this new 0.2 update, unlike in 0.1, no one has to play him anymore. It's completely optional now with the inclusion of Tripwire and Colossus. And, well, they have a fair point of choosing those executioners. Most of these people say that 2011X is way too hard. And, well, that's mostly fair. Other half basically says that he's boring, and that's also pretty fair. But, just to go over my favorite executioner, we're just gonna do an analysis on him. Not a very long one, but just a pretty quick one for new players that is coming into the 0.2 update that needs to learn how to play 2011X before they can get Colossus or Tripwire. Of course, first let's go over his abilities instead of his general stats. 2011X's first ability is Invisibility. It turns you invisible, well, obviously. You're immune to any stun or any status effect when you state. 2011X can teleport behind someone via a number key that is at the bottom of your screen. Although this is pretty irrelevant because there's actually a strategy that you could use. So for new players, I recommend you listen to this part the most if, you want to get good with him. Basically, the strategy just revolves around you getting ever so slightly a bit farther away from the survivors, so then the end lag that happens when you teleport behind them doesn't happen. So you just have free reign of whether, you just sneak attack them or just catch up to them, instead of the survivor getting a free stun. But the stuns are pretty good, for reasons I'll explain later. His next ability is Charge. Charge is a charge, obviously, that once activated, 2011X will blink red 3 times, and once that's over, 2011X will be able to fly, and, well, also charge towards someone. This is actually really useful for someone like Tails or Silver. That is actually a pretty big threat to 2011X in this update, because 2011X can't do very well against long range stuns. But, yeah, let's move on to the next ability. God's Trickery. God's Trickery, upon activation, every survivor's screen will just, flicker black for a couple of seconds. And you better remember the blue and orange Undertale patterns from, Undertale, because you're actually gonna need that. Because once the black flickering is over, there will be multiple fakes of 2011X, and there will be one 2011X. The real 2011X will appear just to the survivor, while the other fake ones, if they land a hit on the survivors, will do nothing except for invert their controls and also make their screen a weird, red color. Now, remember when I said you're gonna have to remember the Undertale blue and orange things? Well, yeah, that's actually useful, because the red, or orange, I guess, outline of 2011X, once he appears, you have to move forward. If the blue appears, or if the blue outline appears, you're gonna have to jump. And the black one, I generally have no idea. I think you run and jump, I think. But yeah. If the survivor with the real 2011X fails to do the minigame, 2011X will do 25 damage, which is actually pretty nice for chipping down survivors, because then, for a normal survivor, you're only gonna have to hit them 2 more times. Also with the damage, 2011X also implies the reverse controls and the weird red screen thing. Okay. Time for 2011X's most hated and most powerful ability, Rage Mode. Rage Mode, upon activation, puts 2011X in a little animation. Once he's out of that, though, you're gonna want to start running, because if you think 2011X was already pretty bad to deal with normally, then Rage Mode is a whole different story. In Rage Mode, 2011X stops the timer for 1 minute and 40 seconds. Even on top of that doesn't sound so bad. Some people might be saying that haven't played out from memories. Well, 2011X also gets a huge speed boost on top of also doing 5 more damage. his base damage was 45, so now he could two-shot people. And not to mention, charge is buffed. It drains a lot more health. Oh yeah, I kind of forgot to mention that charge drains health once you catch a survivor, but yeah, that's on my part. But anyway. Also, invisibility changes into an indicator, slowing you drastically, but hey, it's pretty useful because if you combine this with charge, you can use it to find everyone and at least get a survivor some chip damage on them. I feel like before I end this, it's important to mention his counters and also who he counters. So, also, this is just my opinion of who he counters and also who counters him. The people who I think 2011X counters is Cream, Tails, Sonic, Knuckles, and Metal Sonic. Now, for the people that counter 2011X is definitely Eggman, Silver, and Blaze. Amy and Knuckles are a fine choice for dealing with 2011X, but they're not too good against him. So yeah, as of right now, that's really all I have to say for 2011X. And sorry for the really long wait you guys had to endure. I just, most of the time, been being sick because, you know, it's winter. I'm like, not the best with dealing with, like, winter and stuff like that. What I mean by that is, like, I don't want to wear jackets. I don't want to wear puffy pants. I don't, like, I don't know. Those just feel uncomfortable. But, back on to what I was saying. If you learn how to play 2011X, he could be very powerful. And that comes from someone who has played 2011X of like the third round of Outcome Memories actually coming out. Because yes, I was there day one. I even have a special Eggman trash can hat to prove it, so. But yeah, that's all I have to say. Hope you guys have a good day. Bye-bye.